everyone, and welcome to Zest with me, Shel Marie, the podcast that'll take you on a journey from the hustle to the harmony, fueling your passion whilst finding your peace. I am super excited today to welcome Kay Korsh, a celebrity styling expert and luxury brand advisor. For over 20 years, she has helped celebrities and professional speakers craft looks that not only turn heads, but align perfectly with their message, boosting their confidence, bookings, and fees on stage, which is all just sounds like the most perfect package. In this episode, we'll explore her philosophy that style isn't superficial, it's strategy, and how intentional wardrobe choices can transform presence, perception, and performance. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
You are so welcome. I love that I know sometimes the word strategy can seem very almost robotic and, planning and, all that lovely stuff. But I know just thinking outward and widely about it, I know exactly, I want you to explain it, but I think on an unconscious level, most of my life, I've realized this power in the way you present yourself and show up, and how you want to dress. Like even a down day, like why is it we go for those big cozy clothes and we want to be snuggly? So yeah, I would just really love to tap into your mindset. Where did this all begin? And just hear about your incredible journey.
Well, first of all, you know how you said on unconscious level. So all of us are experts in some sort of area. Like we specialize in different things, especially I work with experts who have spent their whole life building their career, and they specialize in specific thing in which they are very conscious, right? They're very strategic, they know it inside out. When it's not your area of expertise, as you pointed out, quite often it's subconscious. So what I help people with is bringing all of that information into their consciousness. So
Amazing.
all of that stuff where they think, well, I feel comfortable in this, or I think that works, or today I feel like this. I kind of bring to the surface why they might feel that way. We have conversations around what they might want other people to feel when they see them. And we build that organic style where they both feel comfortable and authentic, but at the same time credible and deserving of the fee which they charge and deserving of all of that expertise which they've got on their subject. And where I come from, so I've spent a lot of my career working with celebrities and luxury brands. And when COVID started, I decided to try something different. Obviously, things were all of a sudden very different for everybody. And I was lucky enough to connect with somebody who told me about speakers and just speaking business industry, and kind of in more detail about that, and that speakers need me. And then I started building my content around it, and that is probably the closest you can get, because when you work with celebrities, they are being scrutinized by the media, they're on the show all the time, so it's really important to get their look as close to perfect as possible. So I learned to pay a lot of attention to detail, and this is the expertise which I bring in while working with public figures and speakers who are the face of their brand, and they need to present themselves in the best possible way.
Wow, I love that. And even listening to you, like, I guess when you put that intention, like until you really think about all the eyes on you, I never thought about actually the maybe subconscious or unconscious, whatever we want to call it, message my listeners are thinking when they see me on stage. I never thought that. I'm thinking so much about how I feel and how I like, because I feel like when you feel good, you ooze goodness. So, but I never thought that sometimes, yeah, the mouth will be moving, but actually they're picking up so much more than just the message. And I think that's super powerful. And I can completely wholeheartedly relate to what you mean from the celebrity side of it, of yeah, like one little thing, like especially their clothes get so amplified in good ways and bad ways. So the role that you created, and you are probably still doing, is incredible. Like to have somebody who, it's almost like you've got their back, but you also are ready to show them in their best light. I love that. Yeah.
And it's, I think, showing their personality is what is really important and most interesting, actually, compared to working with models. So I've done a lot of work with models and with talent, with celebrities, and I was always drawn to working with celebrities because it's not just you just put on whatever it is. You have to get to know the person. Again, what do they want to portray? What kind of role are they in? What kind of body shape they've got? Because that is the foundation as well. That's kind of the basics where you start before you even start thinking about the messaging.
Amazing. And thinking about that, I can imagine as well, like from a creative stance, that sounds like such an amazing role that you had. But I can imagine there's the polarity of it in the sense of like when you kind of have to set your expertise aside and allow them to be who they want to be as well, but know that there might be an implication from the choices they're making. So I can imagine that sometimes it's not always the most easiest conversations, when you're thinking of their highest good and how you see it externally while allowing them to still be them, authentically them.
Yeah, I think how I work, when you mentioned it's not always the easiest conversations, I think allowing for that process to take time is what helps me. So I don't believe I can take somebody to the shops for 2 hours and they come out transformed and joyful and happy. That takes some time. So my preferred method of working with anybody is over a longer period of time to allow for the transformation to happen, for me to get to know the person, for them to get to know themselves. And that going on deeper and working on the deeper level, it always allows for those conversations to happen without any fighting.
Of course. Well, that's the difference, which you're just incredibly highlighting, the difference between an expert in their field and someone who's getting ready for a party. So, or like when I go on stage, like not right now, I don't have the luxury of that. So I'm very much, there's only me, and maybe if I've asked somebody about their opinion on like what I want to wear, but generally it's all on me. Whereas, yeah, 100% when you're in the media eye and you've got a lot of eyes on you, you definitely need to have a process and a protocol in place leading up to whatever it is that you're engaging in, as well as your message, which I know that you heavily tie in as well. So thinking about that, because I absolutely love this, like I even think about my most recent event where it was a global gathering of global leaders coming from worldwide, and I was hosting it. And so even though I wanted to sparkle and feel good, I also wanted to have that air of professionalism. So I purposely picked like a top and trousers, and again thought about my shape and things like that. And I was even in two minds about whether I should have showed the tummy. So I still was having a process myself. But thinking about that, it's interesting how we are thinking so much about the audience. Like now I'm having this conversation with you, I realized I was actually still adding a bit of me, but very much thinking about who the audience was. And actually I got so many compliments on my style, which was really, really lovely. But yeah, and even down to the way I did my hair. But one thing I really would love you to touch on, which I know that you highlighted in your bio, is it's not always how visually it looks. Of course, we want both to come in harmony together. But if we have something digging in or rubbing, this again is going to have a big effect, isn't it? So I'd just love you to add a little more about that.
So I always start any of my work with comfort. What are you comfortable with?
Yeah.
And again, bringing that up into your consciousness. What does it even mean that you're comfortable? Why are you comfortable? So do you, what kind of shapes you prefer? Like, is it more fitted or loose? Is it more structured or softer fabrics? Is it natural fibers or synthetic? And also, what are you emotionally comfortable with? Are you, so you are a very kind of vibrant person, you like expressing yourself through clothes, through color, but and that's fantastic, you are creative in this way amongst other ways. But for some other people, they might be creative in other fields, but they can't be bothered about clothes, they don't want to spend time
Yeah.
on thinking about what to wear. And that's okay as well, and giving yourself that permission is absolutely fine, and in fact beneficial, because then you're not gonna have that hurdle in your way. You're gonna decide, okay, I'm gonna have a very simple wardrobe, very simple formula, and I'm gonna move on. So once you kind of nail that comfort part, that's when you start thinking about your audience. Because if you're not comfortable with what you wear, you will not be able to deliver your 100% to the clients, to the audience, to
Mm.
anybody around you.
Absolutely. I can really relate to that. And even thinking back on that day, I actually had two options because I really wanted a tight red dress. But being females and things with our bodies and things like that, that particular day, I just knew it was a no. It was an absolute no. I would be feeling like I'm breathing in. And I was just like, no, I want to be so present. I want to be so flowing and in the moment. I don't want to feel like I'm, wondering what's going on with my body. Can I even eat something? And then other times I'll put that dress on and I feel like, $1 million. So I think this is another important thing, which I'm sure you take into consideration. In fact, I'm going to ask you, do you aim to, because I'm guessing the preparation, everything involved, particularly when it's a big event, do you go for like two options or more than one option, or is it usually one option? Because obviously we never know, do we, on the day, especially as women.
Well, I think again you need to be strategic about it, and I always encourage people to try the outfit in full, head to toe, in front of a mirror, delivering your talk, or
Mm,
record yourself and watch it back, because things can go sideways without anticipation. For example, there was one story which someone shared with me about the speaker who had a prep in his a prop in his pocket, and then when he started delivering his talk, the he took the prop out of the pocket, but the lining came out as well. And then everything what everybody was looking at was the
yeah.
lining out of the pocket. Nobody was concentrating on what he was saying. That's why preparing in advance and seeing what can go wrong. Is this a fabric which creases easily? What about sweat patches?
That's exactly what I was just thinking about. Yeah, especially, when there's celebrities that have been caught with their, which is normal, but no, nobody wants that, do they?
Well, unfortunately, it distracts. Like, even apart from thinking, oh, it's a sweat patch, like it's a stain
Yeah,
essentially, right?
yeah,
Which is not, with our brain, we are wired to think that's not what's supposed to happen, right? So it distracts us.
absolutely.
So that's a part of deciding rather than what about we're women and we want different outfits, but kind of deciding on your primary outfit, for sure I would advise, but also having a backup outfit, because I had cases, with the client where her heel broke and she had a spare outfit, so that all worked out. But imagine if she didn't, that would be a problem, right? So having a second option is very important as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. I can relate to that because especially if you're trying your shoes on a hard floor and then what I noticed was it was a very cushioned floor and I was having the oh my gosh, please don't break my heels because I was just but it's just funny how these things come around and I guess at the end of the day it's how our perspective and how we deal with them and show up anyway, but ultimately we don't want these things to happen. So I love all that you're saying. And another thing that just really came to my mind, particularly I'm thinking about makeup as well. Like I know that might not be your area, but it's still the full look, isn't it? Of whether you want more dramatic look, you want a vibrant look, you want a neutral look. And I know like even with lipstick on the teeth, things like that, again, that can cause such a big distraction.
Yes, it's the whole look. Hair, makeup is a big part of it. Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Amazing. I love it. So thinking now about you said now with speakers and on stages, I guess it's similar but maybe slightly different or have you found that you're still using the same skills?
Uh, yes, it's essentially the same skills. It's what I also like about working with experts in different fields is that they're all different. And what I always say is that they go, even if they go into a corporate environment to speak, they come in with their own story. That's why they were hired and invited to speak. So to share their expertise, their story, so they are allowed to have their style. Obviously, they need to be respectful of the audience, but first of all, they can be authentic. And that showed, with my clients, that shows a lot because they actually get jobs based on the fact that they look authentic.
Yeah.
And I don't mean, it doesn't mean extravagant, it's just authentic in their own, the way they are in the photos, for example, for brand photo shoot, headshots, and all of this. And so when it comes to having that different style, it's always looking at kind of going on a style journey. So I've got a style community for female speakers, and we have a process, a framework which we go through in exactly the same way as I go through with my one-to-one clients. So we start with the basics, which is shapes and colors and discussion, what they're comfortable with. Then we learn how to combine the outfits, and then based on all of that information, we come up with their personal, unique speaker style, which they then feel authentic in, they are memorable, and they come across credible.
I love that. I love that. Yeah. And I can and just thinking not only the brand, the way you're presenting yourself as a brand ultimately, but have you had a case where you've really focused on the message and used the clothing in a creative way to really amplify the message?
Oh yes, I've got some like very creative clients who love expressing themselves, and we go all in for colors, shapes, prints, different prints. Yes, that's why I love it. Everybody is so different, but also going the other way, kind of narrowing it down is a big skill as well. And what do you pay attention to? What's your line of expertise? So like some of my clients, as I said, they love vibrant clothes, but some don't like color.
Yeah,
And again, that's fine too. It doesn't mean that, because a lot of people think that if you are a speaker, you need to stand out, you need to be memorable, you need to wear your brand colors. Well, not necessarily. If you are somebody who prefers kind of more neutral styles, we can go for that as well. It doesn't always have to be bright colors.
absolutely. And if you think about it, if you really think about it, and everyone is thinking that like vibrancy thing, it's actually quite clever to do the opposite because then you do actually stand out. Because
Yeah, well, but also it's I always look at people as a whole. It's not, obviously I'm
yeah,
working with them on their style, but it's not just their style. It's
yeah.
about how they speak. What do they speak about?
Mm,
Maybe their content is, like my friend is a comedian and the speaker, and she helps companies to kind of create that connection through humor.
yeah.
And she's funny. She doesn't need to
Yeah.
bright colors as well. Her name
It's almost like
Beth
it's too
Sherman, by
much
the way.
sometimes, isn't it? Too visual and yeah. So yeah, I think it's absolutely fascinating. Thank you so much, Kay. I love what you do. Just as someone who loves like just colors and clothing and interior design, like I just think it's great, really great, and I'm so happy that you've been such a phenomenal and will continue to be such a phenomenal impact in so many people's lives. Because there is a power to it. I truly believe this. So I don't want to take up too much more of your time, but obviously, if there's anything you would love to share that you are creating or how people can get in contact with you, please use this time now to really celebrate you and all you're doing.
Oh, thank you very much. One of the ways to connect with me is through LinkedIn. And if you put in Kay Korsh, that's Kay. My first name is, and the second name is Korsh. You can find me on there. And I also have, as I mentioned, a style community, and this is something which I'm very passionate about, and always happy to chat. And Yeah, so whoever, if you are listening to this or watching this, then I would absolutely love to connect.
Absolutely, amazing. And I definitely want to look into all the fabulousness you're creating. Just one final thing I love my guests to always do. It doesn't have to be related to what we've just spoke about, just anything off the top of your head. If there was something that you would like to tell someone listening right now, what would you tell them?
Well, I think maybe kind of semi-practical and philosophical thing. Don't go too much into detail because I quite often have people, when I have conversations, when they hear what I do, they start going really detailed. Okay, what do you think about this collar? What do you think about these shoes? And yes, I might have views on that, but what I want people to do is to step away and kind of look at the bigger picture and ask yourself the questions which I was talking about today, like what are you comfortable with, and maybe looking at other people in your field and thinking, what do normally people in your field look like? Is there any way you can help your brand, your audience, to connect faster through
Yeah.
your outfit? And what would it look like? How do you translate your expertise into what you wear?
Lovely. I love it. Very powerful. Thank you so much for your time today. It's been an absolute pleasure. And I
Thank
wish you
you.
all the success in all that you create and all you'll continue doing.
Thank you very much for having me.
You're so welcome.